Excited, man.
Thank you for joining. If there's any question, just ask us, or you can DM us later, but you can ask. Today we're going to talk about actually how to say no. So let's just dive in.
Yeah, yeah. Go ahead, jump in.
Should I start? How do we say no?
Yeah, yeah, jump in. I want to hear your perspective, and I'll give you mine.
Okay, I will say this. I will give 5 to 6 tips how to say no. Okay.
Okay.
And I always think when we want to say, every time we want to say no, every time somebody asks us something that we want to say no, we have 3 options. We can say yes and feel bad about it, and then later hate ourselves and hate the person asking, and feel miserable. And hence starts the love-hate relationship that we have, a lot of us have with different people, right? The second option is we can say no and just feel bad about it. And I think one of the reasons that we feel bad about it, it's all about guilt, and we feel like we own people something or anyone anything. And the third option is you say no and you don't feel bad about it. And that means that you are in a very stable stage in your life with yourself, the place that really you don't owe anyone anything. So these are the 3 options that we always face. I don't think we have anything else. Like, we have any other option. Let me ask me some. But I want to say no. A lot of us, 90% of the time, we want to say no, but we say yes because, again, we feel bad. So I will give like 6 or 7 tips. These are my tips. First of all, the best and easiest, just say no. Just say no. Just say it out loud. No explanation. Hi guys, you don't need to explain anything to anyone. The same thing. We don't owe anyone anything, right? Just say. The second option is to be courteous and polite, right? Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you for asking me. I'm sorry, I cannot do it right now, but I will get back to you later, right? This way, you're polite, you're nice, and and it depends. Again, it depends the relationship we have with that person, right? And the third option is that we have to be very, very careful about the tactics that people use on us, the manipulation. And one of the reasons that I wanted this subject is that a lot of us are in relationships that we cannot say no because we've been manipulated into always saying yes. So, and that is really, really important. And there is another place, for example, when somebody calls you or they want you to donate something, right? They tell you, like, let's say you can donate $10, $20, $30, but most of our people that donate, they're donating $20. How much are you going to donate, right? This is the tactic that people use. This is like outside of like normal relationship, right? And then the fourth thing is boundaries. Again, we have to learn to set boundaries, and this is saying no without feeling guilt has a lot to do with how we set boundaries, how we define ourselves and our relationship with others, right? But sometimes you just cannot say no. Like, for example, at work, right? Your boss may ask you to do 3 things. So you cannot say no. Instead of saying no, you can actually always change the question, like give the question actually back to the person who's asking, right? You can say, I would love to do it, but instead of giving me 2 weeks, if I get like 3 weeks or 4 weeks, I will do a better job. If not, it can be prioritized, right? So again, it depends on who we are dealing with, right? And then the easiest thing that I can say, be selfish. Think about yourself. Always put your needs first, because if you don't do it, you might get away with it. Believe me, I know, I've been there. You might get away with it even for a decade. Each person has a breaking point. it will come a
I agree.
time that you will break. You literally will
Right.
break, and then you know, everything just crumbles on
Right.
top of your head. And to end all these things, as Warren Buffett said, he has this very great quote: if you want to be the difference between successful people and very successful people is that very successful people say no to almost everything. So it depends how successful you want to be in life, right? So all
Right.
this said, I want to know, like, again, these are the things that, like everything else in transformation, they're all circular process, and you have to repeat it over and over and over again. But the most important thing of all is to notice what you're noticing at all time. Like, why? What is the reason?
Right.
Why can't you not just say no? Right? For example,
Right.
for me, in my previous life, basically, in my relationship, because I let myself be manipulated into saying yes, and every time I would say no, I had to answer for everything that I would say no, right? And
Right.
again, to some extent you can do it, but it will come a time that I went crazy. I would just say yes to everything just because I didn't want to explain anything, but the other person was manipulating me and was taking advantage of me, right? So we have to understand why for me, it was guilt. I felt guilty.
Right.
I felt that I'm not good enough. I have to make someone else happy. So I have to say yes. So that's my take on the whole.
That makes sense. I do agree with what you said. Here's my perspective on it. However, I think it all starts with one simple thing. And that thing, it really makes a difference whether you're a successful person or not. Okay. And that is called decision making.
Exactly.
And that's very important, because the reason why when you're indecisive, you can't make decisions, it creates doubt. Okay. And then from doubt, it creates fear, all type of emotions that can happen, paralysis, whatever you're experiencing, and then you could cause failure. Because you have to understand how decision making play a role in your life. A person that's very successful knows how to make decisions.
Exactly.
Okay, like if I make my decision is to say no to things that don't align with my values. I don't care whether it's gonna make you cry, it's gonna make you feel guilty. I don't give a damn.
I know.
You know what I mean? If it has nothing to do with you, it's just my values and decision
What you
making
have
that I
learned,
make.
you have
You know what I mean?
learned. This is something that you have
Yeah,
taught
yeah.
yourself,
Well,
right?
that's the point. The point is, for me, I tell people, my clients and everybody, you have to practice making decision making. Okay, so like here's an instance. I love training shoes, workout shoes. I
Who
have plenty of them.
doesn't?
So I practice to make decision making. Okay, which color I'm going to be wearing today? Which one? And that's how I practice to get better at making decision, because I think decision making can make you or break you. Because when you learn how to make decisions, right?
It makes
If you want to
sense.
be successful, if you want to be very successful, you make decisions, right? It gives you clarity, and then from clarity you take action. You become successful. So you don't have to worry. You bypass all this nonsense. Well, I can't say no because I'm gonna hurt his feelings, or I want to please him. No, 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 no. There is no such things, man. I know my values, and I know what they are. And if anything doesn't align my values or my business, if I'm training with someone, or if I'm coaching someone, or if it's a friendship related, decision making is extremely important to me. I will tell you straight up, no, I cannot train you for free, or I cannot do this for you like this. I can't do it. It doesn't align with my values. And I don't believe in learning how to say no, or how do you say no. What I do believe is learning how to make decisions, because that
That
can
makes
make you a
sense.
break.
That makes sense. That
Okay?
makes sense.
Decision making. It all goes down to one thing: decision. Because if you can't make decision, and look, even if you're dating somebody, right, and they can't seem to make decision, they just, I mean, you've been there, you've already explained that. how does that make you feel if everything you dating your partner, everything you say, they just don't make decisions to live it up to you? They keep saying yes, yes, yes. It's that sound. That's not. That's very an iffy, right? Very iffy, right?
It will
Relationship
break.
doesn't make no sense.
It will break after a
Yeah.
while. Yeah.
Listen, you gotta know your partner. Listen, and I know you're gonna say no, or I know you're gonna say yes. Whatever, because this doesn't align with your values. Whatever it is, it is what it is. You ask, even though you don't know what you may get, but you know that person you're with is gonna either give you a no or a yes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'd rather deal with someone like that because that learn that know how to make decisions. And decision making, same thing in business, right? If you have your business, you want to take it to the next level. The decision you make can either take it to to the successful, or it can keep you where you are. You can fail. So the learning how to say no, to me, makes no sense. What you need to be focused on is how to make decision. If you don't know how to make it, practice. Maybe pick something that you like to do. Maybe outfits, especially women, they love outfits. All right, so every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I got to make a decision what I'm going to be wearing. And once you make that decision, that's it, it's done, whatever. You know what I mean? So you practice doing that.
That is
And I
very
had to learn that.
interesting. That is very interesting.
Yeah, I had to learn. Yeah, I had to learn that the hard way, and that's when I realized decision making is so important in my life, in everybody's life.
yeah.
So once you master that, listen, you have no problem. You take all the feelings out, whether you're gonna, because you're not pleasing people. I'm not here to
Exactly.
please you,
Exactly.
because I have a value that I want everything to align with it. You know what I mean? So whether it has to do with your family, child, wife, husband, each one have their own values. So if nothing doesn't align my values, you'll get a straight big no, capital letter no
Exactly.
from me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's my perspective of it. So
It's very
I don't want to make sense
it's
of it.
very interesting, and I want to point out what you said about practice making decision. What you just
Yeah.
mentioned. I want the viewers to know is actually an amazing practice. Practicing it might be like I know it might be really stupid, like to practice what to
I
wear, what
know it
color.
sounds stupid.
I do the same thing. I match my top with my shoes, the color of my top and my shoes. I do exactly the same thing.
Yeah.
This is a practice. Did like, should I wear
Yeah.
this or should I wear that? Would I do that? And these are the things that we do daily. These are small things that it might seem small, but it takes, it just becomes,
Practice.
it just becomes second nature. How to
Second, yeah, absolutely.
And another thing that you mentioned is that for me, for example, I was a people pleaser, and now the moment I decide that I actually made this decision, you're right. I decide that I am the most important person in my life.
Exactly.
And
You
it's
see
only
it?
me, and I'm going to decide everything's going to, if they are real friends, because a lot of things that I hear about from people that they always say, oh, if I say no, they will get hurt. If I say no, I will lose them.
Right.
It's not an easy decision. The decision is always between you having
And
a
your
better
values.
life with your
Yeah.
values or be miserable. So like that's, again, I rather lose. I did. Not that I lose. I let go. And yeah, a lot of them I lost, but I don't look at it as a lose because I found myself in the process.
Yeah.
You're finding yourself, and that's what we're doing. The whole transformation, the whole personal transformation is that we're finding ourselves. We're building ourselves. Not that we were lost. I don't think that we were ever lost. I think we were always there, but we were getting to know ourselves. So I actually, I never looked at it that way, but you're totally right. It's all about the decision, like the decision you make based on your values. And another thing that I always hear is, again, this comes again in the relationships, in our personal relationships. If they're really your friends, if they're really your family, if they really love you, they will understand. And if they don't, you should be firm. You are the one who actually set the tone, how people.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that was really interesting. I really like that whole decision making.
Yeah, and you know, one of the other part that I practice decision as well is finance. You know, like what to spend on and what not to spend on. I realize, holy shit, you know, I do make money, but at the same time, if I don't control myself, I will be throwing money from left and right. Like I see
Amazon
something, okay,
Prime.
just swipe it
Amazon
and you see it buy.
Amazon Prime. Delete the whole
Yeah,
app.
that's what I'm saying, you know. So I had to master this shit, man. I'm like, yo, I gotta master my decision how I spend money, bro. Because it's like I can make a few money, I can make a few grand right now, and then all of a sudden it's like it's just go down because of my poor decision making. So to me, I think we made it something we discussed a topic on decision making before, but life is everything. The most difficult thing in life is decision, you know. And look, when it comes to cover your topic, learn how to say no in this aspect, right? In this topic right now, it's okay. We just want you to make a decision. What that means is that you can go back and always adjust things, fix it later, fix the mistakes later. You know what I mean?
I love that.
Okay,
I
here's
love
where I
that.
went wrong. You know, but you just got to learn to make a decision. I can't be on a team with someone that can't make a decision, whether it's business partner or anybody else. You got to be able to make a decision. I don't care if it's perfect. It doesn't have to be perfect. You know, we can fix it at a later time. Okay, here's where we went wrong. Here's what we need to do. Here's what we need to fix. But at least you pick a path. You know what I mean? And that's the kind of person I want to be able to deal with. Someone who can make a decision. And to me, that's who I consider a leader. Because a leader needs to make a decision, whether it's bad or wrong.
The hard
There's no such
decisions,
thing.
you know,
Yeah,
just learn to make the hard decisions, you know,
yeah,
the
yeah. You
decisions
gotta be
that
able to make one.
exactly, because you know we always I like, again, I always tell that to my client on live always. We look at people, for example, I look at you and you're a bodybuilder, right? And I want to be you, right? I want to have that
Right,
body. But we
right,
never stop and think the person who has that body, what kind of person is that person? What kind of decisions does that person take? You know, what kind of sacrifice? Who is that person? We always want things. We always dream about this body, this life, but we never think about the person. We never think who is that person, right? In order to have that body, in order to have that life, we have to become that person who has that body or that life. And that means that that person, whoever that is, knows how to make decisions, knows how
right.
to do hard things. And again, yes, saying no is never something easy. I understand. But
Yeah,
you don't need to make it harder on yourself. I think
yeah.
when we say no and feel bad about it, we are suffering. And I always say suffering is always optional. So why suffer
Yeah,
when you don't have to? And again,
yeah,
I really like this whole decision. It's
yeah,
thank you so much. It was like
yeah.
another view.
And remember too, you know, when people say no, they feel bad. That means they've always judge them this way. I have to, because how you do one thing, that's how you
You
do
do
a lot of things.
everything.
So if you're gonna feel bad, that means you're a person that don't make decision right. You don't like to make decisions at all.
Indecisive.
Yeah. So I can't. You know, it's this decision making is it's everything. It involves everything that you do. Even when you're driving, you have to decide whether I should make a left. I should make. Should I pick a shorter route or a longer route? Should I take my time? Everything has to do with decision. So it's very extremely important that people understand. It's not about learning how to say no or whether to say no, when to say no. It's about making a decision. And once you know how to make a decision, it's not easy. Don't get me wrong, because we all went through that. I went through it. You know, it's something that you have to practice, put it into practice. It's like, and this is what I love about NLP. You know, about being a coach, and I learned to find myself to understand how neuro linguistic programming work, how the
Exactly.
head works. So once I learned that, I'm like, oh, okay, shit, I really understand, because you gotta learn how to program this. It doesn't
Exactly.
come with a manual. So once you learn how to practice making decision, things just flows. You know what I mean? Like I said, you can make a decision today or poor decision. You have time to fix it. You go back and fix it, but at least you weren't a coward. That's not what a coward does. A leader doesn't do that. They make a decision whether it's good or bad. Then you fix it. You adjust it. Okay, what did I go wrong? What can I do to make it better? At the same time, you can make decisions that can cause you to be a millionaire. You know what I mean? So, or maybe take your business next level, or maybe take your body to the next level, or maybe take your personal growth, to outstanding, where like people, you become an influencer, or someone people looked up to, So I really do believe decision making is it's the key
To
to
everything.
learn how to say no to everything.
Exactly.
You know?
Thank you. Thank you so much. And guys, everybody,
Yes.
thank you. You can actually watch this video on my YouTube, on Coach Dickens YouTube. There's also another video about how to do decision making.
I know.
Right? We do
I
have
haven't
that.
posted.
And please, please, please like my video, subscribe to my channel. I won't bombard you with extra stuff, but I appreciate it. And thank you so much. See you next week.
And I promise I'm gonna start posting, man, because
Yes,
I really am.
I know.
I'm sorry. I haven't been able to post. I'm busy, so I will start posting.
It's okay. And also,
right?
I also tomorrow, I think at 6, yes, 6 p.m. Yes, 6 p.m. on Facebook Live. There is a new program I have with another coach. Actually, it's Transformation.
Awesome.
Yeah, Transformation Thursday. We're talking about the programs that we have. Tomorrow, I'm going to talk about. Finally, I'm going to talk about my new program. So please join me. Yes, it would be cool.
Awesome.
I will be posting it
tomorrow at 6 p.m. What time would it be for me? 10 o'clock.
Yes, 9 New York.
9 o'clock p.m. Okay.
Yes,
I'll check it out.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.